Okay, hey guys, it's Gigi.
And Hannah.
And today y'all are about to listen to our podcast on online safety.
Yeah, we just recently read 1984, and it was kind of about how, online safety and about how people didn't have privacy and all that. And now today we are really lucky to have a lot more privacy, but people need to learn that there is consequences to your actions online and that privacy is key when it comes to staying safe.
Yeah, Big Brother's always watching.
Yep.
It's too bad he's not sponsoring us. We're trying to raise awareness on safety. A lot of kids don't know, teenagers, parents, like anyone.
Yeah.
Don't know all of the threats out there. So what not better than a podcast?
Yep. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, so what's the first social media platform you've ever used? And do you remember your first post?
My first ever platform I used was Musical.ly, and I don't remember my first post, but it was just probably some silly sound of me and my cat, honestly.
You and Wesley. Back when TikTok wasn't watching us, our every move.
Yeah, when it was fun.
Yeah, Musical.ly was where it was at. No, my first platform was Musical.ly too, and y'all are going to figure out later, but that stuff is still out there somewhere. Don't know where, but
especially on her sister's Instagram.
Yeah,
like if y'all want to go
look
check it out. If y'all want to go check it out, it's really cute.
Emery Schwab, yeah, don't check that out. Yeah. So, do you think most people realize how much of their personal info is out there, Hannah?
No, I don't think people realize because I am a victim to that. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
same.
realize, but I still be posting. Like, like when I am out with my friends and we're having fun eating some dinner somewhere and I look cute, I'm gonna post. Like, and
No, yeah.
someone could see that and see where I am and like come track me down.
Yeah,
But
and
I don't think about that in that time.
it's easy to fall short too because Hannah and I, we had Instagram, Snapchat, like when we were younger.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know those people. Like, I don't know half the people that are in my account right now.
No, yeah. Like, just letting people follow you just based off certain things, like,
Yeah.
is just not the move. I'm not going to explain exactly what I did, but let's just say I have fallen.
Young Hannah brain was not smart back then. But,
yeah, no.
And so y'all think y'all are learning, but we're also learning in these interviews. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from interviewing other people and hearing their responses, It's just
Yeah. I didn't know a lot of this.
kind of opens your mind to all that. Like,
Yeah,
it's
we're
kinda
gonna-
crazy.
We're going to take the precautions later
Yeah.
after we listen to this podcast with y'all.
Yeah.
So, to lighten the mood, have you ever Googled yourself and were you surprised by what you found?
I have Googled myself, and I was surprised to find some pictures of me and my dad at the beach club that we used to go to all the time. And I was just shocked because, like, that's such an old picture. Like, where did the internet dig that up from? That's not okay.
You in your Justice swimsuit.
Yes, literally, that was me.
I don't want that up there.
What about you?
No, yeah, same. I've Googled myself and I've got to say, I'm like the top picture, Safari knows what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how they got those pictures of me, but yeah.
Hey, they stole them from somewhere.
I also don't know how to get them removed. Like, do we talk to Safari about that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe send a shoot a little email. To
Yeah.
them, like, hey.
Anyway.
Anyways, do you have anything else before we jump into it?
I think that's about it.
All right,
Let's listen to these interviews.
Let's go. To begin, we are interviewing two students from U High, Meredith Cohn and Jake McCann. What does online safety mean to you, Meredith?
It means keeping my stuff private to just the people that I specifically want to see it.
Do you use social media?
I do.
Which platforms do you spend the most time on?
I have Snapchat and Instagram, but I post more on Instagram.
Have you ever received a random DM from a stranger?
I have.
And what did you do?
I think I blocked him.
Good for you. Because me and Gigi did some research, and it said that 80% of online grooming crimes are a result of social media. Are you aware of that?
I am not. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. What would make social media a safer place for young people?
I think if more young people were educated on that fact, and also just that there's not good people out here, and just because you see something and you don't know a person doesn't mean that it's that person. A lot of people lie about who they are online.
Yes, that's really good, Meredith, because there's a lot of fake news out there, And yeah, if you could tell younger kids one thing about staying safe online, what would it be?
I think keeping your social media platforms private is a good way to do that. I think a lot of people get caught up on like wanting more followers and stuff like that, and I just know that there are a lot of people out there that aren't who they say they are on social media.
Yeah, I would fully agree with that. Thank you, Meredith. Okay, what does online safety mean to you, Jake?
Online safety is about keeping everybody safe and making sure that they have a good online experience because it's used so much in our life, and we don't want people to feel insecure on the internet.
That's good. Do you use social media?
A little bit, not as much as most high schoolers probably,
And why would you say you don't use social media as much as other high schoolers?
because it's kind of been ingrained in me to like not get on my phone as much from my parents, and I feel like I try to stay pretty busy during the day.
Yeah, that's really good. A lot of parents just let their kids get on their phones and waste time. And what would make social media a safer place for younger people?
Um, Something that would make social media a safer place for younger people would be if there was more fact checkers on the internet, so that way they didn't have as much fake news being spread.
If you could tell younger kids one thing about staying safe online, what would it be?
Um, don't believe everything you see. Just because you see it doesn't mean you need to believe it, especially now. Um, there's a lot of people that go out on the internet and try to do bad things, so don't fall for the trap.
Yep, that's very true. Thank you.
And now we have a new teacher at U High, Mr. Norwood. Mr. Norwood, what does online safety mean to you as an educator?
It's kind of a hard question because the internet is so like wide open, right? You can access so many different things from so many different countries and areas. But I guess just the basic question is like, what does safety mean? So safety is understanding what is the information that you're accessing? Like, what's the point? Like, why are you going to this website? Why are you doing what you're doing? What's the quest for? You're looking for knowledge, you're looking for entertainment. So when it comes to like safety, I'm not really sure where I'm getting this information from, and us being involved in society means we have to at least have a basic understanding of what it is we're reading, what it is we're interacting with, and is it true?
That's
right?
really good.
So thanks, but it's just like I still don't know. Like they try to teach you in school, trust.orgs and trust all these places because they have a vested interest in one thing or another. It's just I don't know. The internet can be a very scary place.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know what they're accessing and what happens after.
Right.
How do you think students are aware of online dangers, or do they underestimate the risk?
I think some people pay a little more attention to it than others. I mean, I guess a good like litmus test would be like, do you have TikTok? Because we know the government has told us, well, if you want to believe the government, right, that TikTok and other sites, they mine your information, right? And I mean, go look at your Instagram feed. Whenever you look at Instagram, they're going to have targeted ads that they use cookies based off of what you view online, and it creates this shopping profile of you.
Yeah.
And they want to sell you these things like, oh, I want to lose some weight. Now all of a sudden you have a bunch of like brand new clothing options, and maybe you should get on this diet plan. So if you allow it to, the internet will take everything that it wants to know about you to try to sell you.
Have you noticed any changes in how students use social media over the years?
Well, when I was growing up, I had MySpace, which was fun. And then MySpace slowly like bled into like Facebook. And what we see is like, it's become more and more part of your life.
Yeah.
You have to have something. You have to be on Snapchat.
Mhm.
You have to be on Instagram. You have to have a TikTok, or else who are you? Right. So I feel like people have thrown away that safety idea and gone more toward being part of the group,
Yeah. What steps does your school take to educate students on online safety? Do you think it's enough?
Well, I'm new here, so
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't know if there's.
What about Zachary?
They
Not
would
so
send out warnings and make sure that you're like cyberly secure. I know teachers we have to take trainings every year that teaches about like cybersecurity and hacking and phishing and all these. Mainly ours is like email attacks, and that's going to be something y'all have to deal with when you get to college too. Is like people are trying to get your data at every single place, you know, and they're going to send you these mass emails. They want you to click on these text messages from like, oh, you have an unpaid toll, right? So it's definitely out there. It's just I think there could be probably more education, and I don't know, like the trainings that I do, they're great, they're helpful. It's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
And you're like, I get it, but do you though? Like,
Yeah.
Because I'm sure I've gone to websites I probably shouldn't have gone to by accident. Like, oh look, my grandma sent me something. Like, wait, why is Nana sending me this? You accidentally click it. So I think there could definitely be more training with that.
Yeah, and make it more engaging.
Yeah.
If you could implement one rule or program in schools to improve online safety, what would it be? Do you think you have one? I know that's hard.
A mandatory basics of like online safety.
Yeah.
Like
a class or something.
I have a class. Maybe meet once a week or
Yeah.
something, and like a 15, 20-minute class. Like, hey, here's some recent things that are happening. These are things you should be aware of.
Mhm.
Make sure you're not doing this. That way, it doesn't take too much away from the day, but also it's helpful.
Yeah.
I think that would be helpful. I don't know who would lead that or do that, but I think that would be beneficial.
I think that's good because
Yep.
it's changing all the time.
Right.
So to be more aware of like what's happening.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
thank you.
you're
That was very
welcome.
insightful.
Yay! Thank you.
Yes.
And now we'll hear from a high school parent, Nyla Schwab.
Okay, Miss Nyla, what does online safety mean to you?
I think it means keeping my children safe and keeping myself and our family safe.
Do your kids have social media? If so, what age did you allow them to have it?
Ooh. Okay, so my older two kids really didn't come into social media till they were older.
Like college?
Maybe senior year going into college.
Mhm.
And then my youngest, Gigi, is too early. I think too early.
Do you remember when?
I think 13, huh?
Probably.
Gosh, I'm embarrassed
middle
to even
school.
say that.
Middle
yeah.
school times. That's not, most kids get it around like 6th grade now. Maybe even earlier, like
Really?
5th grade.
I think it's sad. I think it's just it's too much information coming at y'all at one time that it's hard to really make good decisions without some guidance.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's how a
What
lot
do
of
you
parents.
think? Do you think it was too early?
Maybe. I think so. If I become a parent, I'm going to wait a little while.
Oh, for sure. I hope so.
So, what are the biggest concerns about your child's online presence?
I think it's, well, one, always safety. But
Yeah.
the other thing would be that it's forever. And I think that it's hard to understand things until you're in it. And I worry about like job interviews and just anything you do now is going to show up later.
Yeah. Do you feel schools provide enough education on online safety? And if not, what do you think should be added?
I don't know. I feel like I'm an older parent, so I haven't been in the thick of it. I think the education needs to come through every avenue right now because it's so fast. I don't even think anybody can keep up with it, especially, young kids or parents that are so busy with other stuff.
Mhm. How do you balance giving your child online freedom while ensuring their safety?
I don't know that I've done a great job of that. What do you think, Gigi?
I think screen time. You did that for a while when I was younger.
That was hard, and then you figured out a workaround.
Yeah, kids are smart.
They are smart, and I'll tell you that. Like, remember your
Life 360.
But there's a workaround for that. But remember, I reached out to your big brother and big sister, and I said, "Hey, y'all, get on social media and help me keep up with Gigi." And they said, "Sure, we'll do that." And then about 2 days later, they're like, "We give up. That's just too hard." So, even for young people, it's too hard to keep up because everybody's so busy keeping up with themselves, but they forget about the creepy stuff lurking.
Yeah. What advice would you give to new parents about raising kids in the digital age?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say education. I think you have to learn it, and I think you have to set some hard ground rules, and then you have to be willing to follow through with it
Mm-hmm.
to keep up with it.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to tell us about your LOPA experience?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I think that like when we talk about social media, we talk about just the internet, we talk about emails, all of
Online
it.
safety?
Online safety. Yeah. I mean,
Just everything, yeah.
everything. So I was expecting something to come across, and I had just gotten off the phone with somebody. I hung up, and this email comes across, and I thought, oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And I click on it. It was a phishing attempt. So it was anyway, my computer locked up, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is not good. So I turned off my computer. I called our IT department, and they're in New Orleans at that time. And they said, what's up? And I said, I think I clicked on something I shouldn't. They said, what'd you do? I said, well, I clicked on something, and then my computer froze, and then I turned it off. And they said, good move. So they turned it on, and they said, turn it off again. And because they could get onto my computer from New Orleans.
Mhm.
And they said, you need to bring your computer right now to New Orleans. And I said, right now? And they said, right now. So I drove to New Orleans, and like 3 people met me at the door, took my computer, went upstairs, made me follow them, and I sat with them. And when they pulled it up, you could literally see every file being locked for our whole system. And they said, this
Was
is
Mr.
pirating.
Max
No.
involved?
Well, Mr. Max was there. He was super gentle and nice. One guy was pretty irritated, but overall, they said, Nala, this is what they do. They lock up all your files, and then we're going to get an email saying if we give them X amount of dollars, then they are going to they'll give us back our files. And sure enough, they get an email, and it says, hey, after they had locked up all the files, but our IT department is so amazing. They had a backup, so we only lost a few files. They were able to fix it, but the pirating is in countries and other areas that our United States can't do anything about. So it's just people take your identity. People want your identity. People want to hurt people sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
you got
that's
to
really
be careful.
good.
It was embarrassing. It was
Oh,
really
At
embarrassing.
least it's in the past. Well, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Next, we have the social media coordinator for LOPA, Miss Sid Williams. What does social media coordinator look like?
So I feel like at different places it can look like a lot of different things, but I'll speak about how it looks in regards to LOPA.
Mm-hmm.
So at LOPA, essentially my job is to manage our social media pages. So that's Facebook, Instagram. We do have a YouTube channel, along with LinkedIn. We are not on TikTok, and we don't have a Snapchat profile per se, but we do run ads on Snapchat.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I look at a monthly calendar, come up with the content, make the content, write the caption,
Mm-hmm.
post the content, manage the comments that may happen, and then any direct messages we may get in regards to those posts or anything else we have going on. We also have 5 regional Facebook groups.
Wow.
That I help manage because, I mean, LOPA services the entire state, right?
Yeah.
And so for lots of years, what we did was post whatever from wherever. And over time, what I found was my New Orleans audience doesn't really care that the mayor in Shreveport raised the flag last week, right?
Yeah.
Like the Shreveport people, that's a big deal, but it's not a big deal down here.
Yeah.
So we created regional groups during COVID as a way just to keep people connected. So,
Mhm.
What does online safety mean to you?
so as a user of like online systems and platforms, it means one thing, but from a work perspective, it means something else. So I'll kind of speak to the work perspective.
Yeah.
But online security means keeping our information at LOPA safe.
Mm-hmm.
And that looks like a lot of different things in relation to social media. So that could be as simple as when I'm posting, I typically don't share whether it's a donor or their family member. I don't use last names, right? Because
Mhm.
Google is free, Facebook is free, people get weird.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody like, oh, they, or we don't tag them either. So like I may be doing a feature on your mom. I'm never going to tag her
Yeah.
in a Facebook post, right? Because these families get really connected and they may mean well,
Yeah.
but I don't want them being able to Google, and they may know it, but I don't want them being able to Google her first and last name or like
Yeah.
go to her Facebook page. And
Yeah.
maybe for the first 2 weeks, you are a seemingly normal person who knows boundaries. And then week 3, you don't. And now you're adding my daughter and she's like, who's this person? Right? Like things spiral quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So a lot of it is protecting our families that we serve, their security, our staff. We don't post their first and last names.
Yeah.
Even some of the, like, if we have an all staff, I'm very mindful of what I post in regards to our internal office. Even externally, we don't, when it was snowing, I emailed IT for camera footage, like, we can't go to the office because roads, but I need a picture of the building covered in snow. Like, can you send me like a security footage, like the camera? And even if they could, they ended up not being able to. But even if they could, they reminded me, like, even if we could, that might not be a good idea because, like, then people can see, like, where our blind spots are because, like, obviously it's going to be camera footage.
Yeah,
so, like, there's
I didn't think about that.
all of those things.
Yeah.
Account information, even though it's social, we do run ads on social. So,
Yeah.
Making sure just, using secure servers. Also, just being mindful of how many people have access to our accounts. When it's social media, it is all tied to your personal account. So if I were to ever get hacked, that puts Lopa at stake because it's as easy as double tapping and you've switched over to the Lopa profile.
Yeah.
So we are super mindful of just making sure not a bunch of people are on our social media accounts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you think kids are putting too much of their info out there?
Yes.
And if
Not
so,
just
how do you
kids,
think they can
people,
be
everyone.
safer? Yeah,
Everyone
I agree.
is putting too much of their info out there. Just being mindful. Like, I know, and I think sharing is good. I think social media is good. It creates this everlasting timestamp of the impact and the things you did in this world. But the timeliness of when we post and share, I think, could be reevaluated. Like, you don't have to post while you're on vacation. Like, then everybody knows. And if they wanted to rob you, now they know you're gone
that's
for
so
a week,
true.
right? Like,
Yeah.
as you girls get older and like continue to learn that sometimes guys can be weird, like maybe you don't post when you're at dinner, you wait till you get home so that they don't pop up like, oh, she's at
That's smart.
the Bulldog right
Yeah.
now. Like,
In our
let me
intro,
go
we were
right,
talking
like,
about that.
yeah, like just the small things sometimes.
Yeah.
The small things.
Being
you know?
aware. Yeah.
Yeah, even just maybe don't tag your apartment complex in the post and now everybody knows where you are. Like just a little like there's all these cool features and things, and yeah, like they're cool for certain things, but boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
What are the biggest risks people face on social media today?
There's so many.
Yeah.
The biggest one I'm just gonna say is I think privacy. Like the show Catfish is a show for a reason because people put so much of themselves out there that it's easier for somebody to steal your identity. And I think as times continue to progress, I mean, like there was this joke I saw on Instagram back when Snapchat was a big thing for my generation and we had all the filters. They were like, oh, my kid has to see baby pictures. And like the pictures she pulled up had like the dog ears and the hearts and all the things because like no one took a picture without filters. But like we're about to have a whole generation of kids who like are going to be looking back for like baby pics and they're going to turn to social. Like I turned to photo albums. Like I had VHS tapes of my first Christmas, whereas kids now are going to have TikTok posts or, IG reels. Like, oh, let me scroll back to 2020. right? Like they're not going to have these physical things. But I think the other side of that is somewhat of a loss in things. Like I think at Lopa, we've had moments. We did a live stream for the holidays. It was one of those days that like Facebook, Instagram, and I think ChatGPT all decided to glitch.
Oh no.
Well, our live stream did not work because like Facebook's glitching. Like we literally couldn't go live. So like now we've got people commenting on the post that said, don't forget. And they're like, hey, I'm on and I'm not seeing y'all, right? So the other side to that was like a lesson, a reminder to us that we are using these tools and we don't own them. TikTok, for instance, like, sorry, this is a school project, but like TikTok, like, we were on TikTok, right? And they decided like it's no more, the US is banning it. Now all those videos, all those impressions, all that data, if I didn't save it on another device and it was just on, like, that's gone.
Yeah.
Same with Facebook, same with Instagram. Like it's a tool, it's a resource, but we don't have it. So just being mindful of how dependent we are on it, even as it relates to saving our memories, right? Because we don't print photos. We don't have photo albums. Some people do make scrapbooks, but like, like I'll just save it. Even if you save it as a draft, like I'll save it, it's there. But if Instagram goes down, then where are those pictures?
It's not going to be there anymore.
Memories, like all the things.
Well, thank you so much.
No problem.
Yeah.
And lastly, we have an LSU college student.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kimberly Metz, a.k.a. Kimmy for short for Kimberly.
Okay, so we're going to interview Kimmy today. And the first question she has is, what does online safety mean to you?
Protection. Protect yourself. There are some creeps out there.
Yes.
Safety.
Period, Kimmy. Okay, so have you ever posted something that you regretted later on?
Yeah.
How did you handle it?
I deleted it. when you're in high school, you know,
You post things you regret.
Snapchat stories, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gotta be safe with those guys. Don't do it.
Gotcha. Okay, so with college networking and job hunting happening online, how do you balance personal and professional online presence?
Oh, yeah. So the thing I do, my mom always taught me never do something you wouldn't want your grandparents seeing you do. I always people will post them, some things, and I'm just like, is your mom not gonna see that? And
Right.
I'll
I be thinking about that all the time.
And if you're talking to someone, like, don't talk to them how you wouldn't talk to your elders. Like, be
Right.
respectful. Yeah.
Mhm. That's good info.
Always
Kimmy. A
think
lot of
about
people need to
that.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. Okay, so have you or a friend ever been targeted by a scam or phishing attempt on
Phishing.
campus?
I'm gonna say no.
No?
No.
That's
There
good.
are those people who video TikToks in the union. Oh, like I don't even know what you would call that. The courtyard area in front of the library.
Like
The quad. I don't know. They film those TikToks. They will come up and harass you.
Oh.
Fun fact. They will be in my TikTok. Oh, how do you feel about this? How do you feel like Trump? Like, and it's just like, stop.
Yeah. Because
That's harassment. Like, I'm trying to go to the library. So.
Yeah. Valid. Okay, that's all we have for you today. Thanks, Kimmy.
Okay, bye guys. Be safe.
Okay, guys, and this is the end. That's all we have for y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Thank y'all for
watching.
listening. Yeah.
We hope that people learned from this and
we
can
hope
be safer online.
you learned something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miss Bevel for helping us with the tech. And
Yes, we love you.
have a great day, guys. Bye.
Bye.